Hello YouTube world, Mac Daddy 191181 here with the Shade Tree Survivalists. What you're looking at is the cover for the new Blu-ray disc that I got here about 2 weeks ago. And this is the documentary, The Hornet's Nest, that I'd alluded to in The Art of Camouflage, the finale. This is not a movie. And like I said, it is a documentary, and it is outstanding. The man is doing the documentary. Him and his son together went to Afghanistan and were the only father and son team in Afghanistan doing that type of work. And of course, the reflections killing the photo or the picture. The man's name was Mike Botiger, and his son was Carlos Botiger, or Botiger, however you pronounce that, I'm not sure. He is a photojournalist, and he works, or at least he shot the video for ABC News, and we all know they're a very liberal organization, but still this is just a great documentary. But that's Mr. Mike right there. I'll tell you right straight up, I enjoyed the tar out of it. And there's a web link, thehornetsnestmovie.com. You can go over and check it out and take a look at it. I do not, for the life of me, remember how much I paid for that. It was under 15 bucks. I know that. It seems like it was only 11, 12, 13 bucks. I recommend it for several reasons, but the biggest one is back in the day, during World War II and so forth, there were newsreels telling us what was going on with our guys overseas. And nowadays, you so rarely ever hear anything about the war that, I would imagine that there is a good part of this population in this country who would be shocked to realize we are still at war. And we have casualties still. I do believe that this was shot in 2010. I'm not sure on the year it was shot, but it is an outstanding documentary. It's not pro-war, it's not anti-war. It's simply telling the story of this father and his son, and they're reconnecting because basically he was gone for most of the boy's life. And when the young man decided, okay, I'm going to go and see why you gave up your family for this job. And they reconnected in Afghanistan. But it shows a bit of the fighting that went on over there. And you rarely ever see the enemy. But they had some captured Taliban cell phone videos, basically what it was, before they were killed by our guys. And outstanding documentary, like I've said. 2 thumbs up from Mac Daddy 191181. The reason I buy stuff like this, because you're not really going to find out about tactics or anything of that nature. What you will see is the sacrifice that our children and our grandchildren are, what they are sacrificing, because there's 3 men are killed in this video. And they have a lot of their friends, they interview them and find out what happened. And, you can see the pain in their faces. It's not a movie. It is a documentary, and it is, heart-wrenching in some places. But we are their witnesses, okay? It matters what they did over there. And we should not forget that. Alright, let's move to the next one, which is Lone Survivor, starring Mark Wahlberg. I do not have this book yet, but I do have the DVD, and I also have Mr. Marcus Luttrell's second book, Service, and it is outstanding. I think the movie is as close as you're going to get without the real deal. There was not a documentary on such a small team or anything of that nature. If they had it, they'd have died, the documentary team, because Mr. Luttrell was the only survivor. That is the reason he wrote the book, in memory of his friends. 2 thumbs up. Another video that is not an easy watch because, you know, in reality they died. And, you know, it's got some comedy in it at the beginning and all, but it's a serious movie. It's not, you know, it's not, oh, well, she's not wanting to focus on me. It's not a, it's realistic, put it that way. Of course, Mr. Marcus Luttrell, former Navy SEAL, told the producers, you get it right or I'll fucking kill you. Excuse my French, but that's his exact words. You get it right or I'll effing kill you. That's his exact words. They got great interviews on here with him, the families of the fallen. And, you know, they died like soldiers. You know, they didn't go down like bitches. They died like soldiers. But at the same time, you know, we have to mourn remember them, but we, you know, should mourn their passing because they were great Americans. And I think that the producer, the director of this movie did an out-freaking-standing job. Let me look at his name. God, trying to even look at this. A Peter Berg film. Mr. Peter Berg. And he's an actor. I don't remember the shows that he acted in. He was a television actor, I think. And he had small roles. But dude is an out-freaking-standing director. End of story. But that is an outstanding movie right there. 2 thumbs up. Should have won an Academy Award. Just an outstanding movie. Now here's one you probably have never heard of. Kevin Bacon. This is an older movie. You can see it, Skin Up. It official selection of the 2009 Sundance Film Festival. True story. Kevin Bacon plays a lieutenant colonel who is a Marine, and he is a logistics officer basically, and he missed combat, and he saw the name of this casualty, this young man, Chance, who was killed in action in Iraq while on convoy duty. And he saw that he was from, you know, this lieutenant colonel saw that he was from his hometown. And he offered to escort the body of this young man back home. And though he was a young, I don't even think he was an NCO, I think he was still a private, but it doesn't matter. They told him he didn't have to. A sergeant or someone would do it. And he said, no, I'll be happy to. I'd be honored to. And he did. And it was a life-changing experience. Absolutely wonderful movie. Absolutely, hands down, one of the best movies I've ever watched. Very emotional, touching. I mean, just the simple kindnesses from people he met along the way, and the decency and respect that they paid, you know, not only him but the fallen, you know, Mr. Chance. It's just amazing. But the guy's name in real life is Lieutenant Colonel Michael Strobel, played by Kevin Bacon, as I've said, and he was escorting Lance Corporal Chance Phelps back to his hometown in Wyoming. Though at the beginning he thought he was going to Colorado, and that was where Mr. Strobel was from, and it turned out he had moved to Wyoming with his mother, I believe it was. But anywho, regardless, 2 thumbs up. Should have won a freaking Oscar. Best movie and best actor, because Kevin Bacon simply outdid himself. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why I never took him very seriously as an actor, but this movie was just blows you away on how good it is. It is an outstanding movie. And they have a documentary at the end of it and the special features introducing you to Chance Phelps and his friends and family, and they interview a lot of people, and it's just a wonderful movie. Highly recommend it. 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, whatever you want to say. It's a wonderful movie. I do believe it is on Netflix right now, that you can watch it, go rent it, buy it. If you see it, buy it. End of story. Buy it on the spot. But, you know, get your tissues ready. It still chokes me up. I haven't watched it in a while, but it still chokes me up. It's a great movie. Great movie. Zero Dark 30 about the young lady who pursued Bin Laden to the bitter end, and of course a little bit about the Navy SEAL team who goes in and takes him down. Pretty good movie. Figured I'd throw that in there because that was, you know, a very huge event. Great. I mean, it's a pretty good movie. I ain't gonna say great, but it's a pretty damn good movie. And finally, and last but not least, this is a documentary called Restrepo. It is on Netflix. Just saw it while I was pulling up some of the titles, and you can see my case. It's skint and bent because I take it with me sometimes. But this is produced by National Geographic. The guy that wrote the book, The Perfect Storm. Oh my God, I cannot remember. Sebastian Younger. And his name's up here, but he is also the author of War, a great book, by the way. But just, it's a great documentary. I highly recommend it. 2 thumbs up, all the way across the board. Worth every freaking penny. And it's real soldiers. I mean, it's real young Americans fighting in Afghanistan. And it was a great movie. It was a great movie. It has some great special features. But I highly recommend it also. Restrepo. It's named after the first casualty, their medic, Mr. Restrepo, who was killed in action. And their outpost, forward operating base Restrepo, was named after it. Absolutely wonderful. And it got the 2010 Sundance Film Festival Grand Jury Prize for Documentary 2010. Okay, the next ones I'm going to tell you about are all on Netflix that I've found and watched and are very good or outstanding. All of them are documentaries. There's a few on here that somehow or another I could not find again, though I've watched them. Maybe they've been removed from the list on Netflix. There's one about Danish soldiers who went to Afghanistan, who are our allies and who were there helping in the war effort. And I don't remember the name, and I apologize for that. But it's a damn good documentary. And they went over, and it was great. But I cannot find it. I have no idea what happened to it. But anywho, the first one will be Camp Victory, Afghanistan, and they got a lot to do with how the National Army in Afghanistan is being trained and the American advisors who are over there trying to help. And sometimes, from what the documentary, the way it looked, it is 2 steps forward and 1 step back. You know, because you've got 3 or 4 different American or British or Italian or whoever. They come in, they alternate with the National Army guys trying to help them out, and it's totally backwards from what the previous international team were doing. Still a great one. And they focused in on this one Afghani general, and right before it ended, he was killed. His damn helicopter crashed. It wasn't enemy action, and if you're gonna go down, you know, going down in battle's the way to do it, I reckon. But helicopter crash, old ancient Mi-8 Russian helicopter, and it was notoriously bad shape, and it crashed, and he died. Man, he was a fine human being, no doubt. The other one is Where Soldiers Come From, about a National Guard unit out of upstate Michigan, I believe. That was a pretty good one. Hell and Back. Not to be confused with Audie Murphy's, the biography they did on him, or the movie they did on him, To Hell and Back. This is simply Hell and Back. And it's about a wounded Marine sergeant who was shot in the leg and the hip and the ass. And it was him back. Part of the documentary focused on him in Afghanistan. And part of it was on his recovery at home, and he was bound and determined to recover and to go back. Great documentary. Outstanding individual, that young man. I wish I took the time to go back and get his name, but Hell and Back Again is the full title. Hell and Back Again, about the wounded Marine who was recovering. Here's another one. Fighting on the Front Line, and this one here is about the British military, and they deal with some of their armored cavalry troops, their helicopter pilots, their infantry, and so forth. And outstanding. It was a series that I believe was on BBC. Great. It's a damn good one. Damn good one there. Thank you to any British, English viewers. Thank you to all our allies. I know I've put up a video about that before, but it needs to be reiterated. Our allied countries are over there, and their young men and women are dying also, and trying to help us. So thank you very much for that. Now here's one. If you have a weak stomach, you need to steer clear of. This one here is called Inside Combat Rescue, and it's about the parajumpers. Pararescue guys in the U.S. Air Force, and they fly in on CH-60s, the Black Hawk helicopters, and there's a team of 3 or 4 of them. You've got a pilot, co-pilot, 2 gunners. 2 gunners, and you have 3 PJs, and the PJs jump out and grab the wounded, put them on a helicopter and all. And it's an entire series. Wonderful series, but like I said, if you have a weak stomach, you don't need to watch that one, because the guts hanging out, stuff like that, they don't show that. They blur it out, but bloody stumps, them sticking these needles in there through the bones, and blood all over the freaking helicopter and all over the ground. Yeah, if you got a weak stomach, you might want to steer away from that, but if you can stand it, close your eyes during those bloody parts. But it is a very, very telling show. It was, I think, 2 seasons, and I enjoyed every single one of them. Those, you guys out there in the PJs, you guys rock, because y'all saved a lot of lives. And outstanding, just out freaking standing, no doubt, hands down, badass. And then there's ones like 21 Days to Baghdad, where National Geographic filmed us the invasion of Iraq. There's one, Shock and Awe, that was pretty good. But the ones I care more about are individual units, individual people. Really care about them. And, I want to pass that on. I mean, it's like this one here. They're, I think they're with a convoy, 101st Airborne. It may have been the Marines. It's been a bit since I saw it, but there's a suicide bomber, and a bunch of kids get killed and some hurt, and this all-female PJ crew flies in and gets this kid. And I mean, these ladies kicking some butt as far as taking care of their wounded. Out freaking standing. For that crew and every other crew, 2 thumbs up. They are willing to put their lives on the line under fire to go in and get these wounded soldiers, stabilize them as best they possibly can, and take them home. I think Inside Combat Rescue is probably the best one I've seen, because you're in a helicopter with them, and it's got some really cool shots. The best infantry one has probably got to be this one, the Into the Hornet's Nest. That and Restrepo, and I got Restrepo right here. Absolutely freaking outstanding, both of them. They got some really good interviews. And this one, post-war, after a lot of these guys had got out of the military, a year later, 2 years later, whatever, and they had some really good video. The guy that videoed, that actually shot the film for this, Sebastian Younger's partner, and I don't think it shows his name on here, Tim Hetherington. He was killed when this was being introduced at some big film festival somewhere. I'm not sure exactly what it was. That same day he was killed. And Sebastian Younger, in the book, his audio book, I got his audio book, which he narrated, War, he tells a lot about that. But Restrepo is a part of the book, War. And I highly recommend it also. There are literally dozens and dozens and dozens of audio books and books out there that our guys and gals have written since they came home. And we all know Mac Daddy 1911 loved Chris Kyle and American Gun, American Sniper. And his passing was a shock to all of us, and we're going to sure miss him. But he's not the only one, and these guys are not the only one. But we are to witness. We cannot forget the sacrifices that they're doing, because every September 11th, I've got the 1-year commemorative edition of several different news organizations that had footage throughout that day of 9/11. I'm not going to forget. All right, I know why we're there trying to fight these folks. All right, I'm not going to forget it. The idiots in Washington may. Hillary effing Clinton, for instance, who said that these people are freedom fighters. They're scumbags. They got their hands on her. They saw her head off so fast it wouldn't even be funny. Why? Because she believes in the exact opposite of everything they stand for, in one way, shape, or form. The liberal agenda, yeah, they'd saw your head off. Of course, they saw our heads off too, but anywho, got off subject. Lone survivor, 2 thumbs up. Taking chance, 2 thumbs, 2 toes, a nose, all my hair on my head. Absolutely love this one. Hands down, one of the greatest I've ever seen as far as a movie. It's tearjerker. It's a great movie. Great story. Wonderful, true story. While I'm thinking about it, I'm taking chance. At the very beginning of the movie, they are at Dover Air Force Base, where the bodies of our servicemen are shipped directly from the battlefield or the hospital in the caskets. And they are the ones that take care of our servicemen and women, our children, our grandchildren's remains. And just do outstanding work. I've been to Dover Air Force Base, did not realize that they did so much. And if you happen to be any way, shape, or form connected to that, and taking care of the remains of our servicemen and women, to return them full uniform, as dignified as absolutely possible to their families, thank you very, very much. We appreciate that. I do not have any family who has been killed in this war, but I have friends who have served, and I have 2 brothers who served in the Navy, and I'm glad they returned home to us safe. And some people give the ultimate sacrifice, and we cannot forget that. Okay, we cannot forget that. Watch this movie if you don't watch any of those. Simple as that. This is freaking outstanding. And just see the respect that your fellow Americans, some of your fellow Americans, show these folks. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Bacon should have won an Academy Award for that, hands down. But anywho, I have dragged on long enough. Meant to make this a short video. Don't forget Inside Combat Rescue and Hell and Back Again. 2 outstanding different ones. And Fighting on the Front Line with the British Troopers, absolutely outstanding. If you got Netflix, go into the documentary section and you can look up different ones. They have a lot of, they're very liberal. They have a lot of liberal crap. But they also have some very good stuff also. This is MacDaddy 1911A1 with my recommendations for watching movies. Thank you very much for watching.